Whatever rocks your socks, whatever spins your top, whatever winds your watch, whatever flips your flop, whatever turns you on, whatever flies your flag, whatever bangs your gong, or whatever swings your bag. Do it often, but do it well, 'cause nobody knows and there's no way to tell when the ride ends.
So the idea was that these two lines would line up when I'm seated here at my desk. I do a lot of my model work at my desk while I watch movies and stuff and YouTube. And that line is what I was aiming for, and I think I got pretty close. I like this window. The more I live with it, I think I'm going to leave it up. If nothing else, it would be a disaster to try to take it down. I would break that pane of glass for sure. Good morning. Well, the rains have come to Turtle Beach, and I've decided not to ride the bicycle this morning. I had intended to do this from out in the national park instead of here, where I always do it. But it's glowering outside. It looks like it's going to rain. So I wanted to give you an update on the cannabis, on the broccoli store, next door. It looks great. I have made it look like a broccoli store. Unfortunately, this is still Turtle Beach, and we had some tourists for a while, but now it's the beach is empty again, and I'm the only white face I see. And Thai people are not really ready to sit in public and consume broccoli. I go every evening at sunset, and I sit there and I watch the sun go down. It's a very pleasant place, and I've told them all along, just do a sunset party. Don't sit out there till midnight and let all your friends and relatives come drink Lao Cow in your broccoli bar. Just do it from 6 to 8 every evening when the sunset's going on. We're right on the beach. We see the sunset. People come here. Hundreds of people come here to take photos, selfies in the sunset. Just stay open until you're established, until you have a market. This is the first time anybody's ever tried to do this. You know, he said to me the other night, we were sitting there, and he said, you know, Steve, we're the only two people on Turtle Beach doing this right now. Nobody else is sitting outside their house or sitting out in public consuming broccoli. And I said, well, has there ever been a time when anybody in this town ever publicly consumed broccoli? And he thought a second, and he said, no. He said, we're the first. Well, we're making up for lost time because we do it every night. We're sitting out there every evening after 8, after the sun goes down. I come inside, I get ready for bed. But he stays out there all night long and does a fair business selling beer. He's not selling broccoli, really. He smokes 10 joints a day, this guy. He's smoking whatever profits there might be. He's smoking whatever. I don't even pay attention to that because my visa doesn't allow me to do business in this country, and I'm retired. I don't want to go back to work. And I know, you know, how that situation works. Once you start getting involved in the bookkeeping, now it's yours. And you're responsible for it, and everybody will expect you to make it a success. And once it's a success, they take it away from you. I know how that works. I've seen that happen a dozen times. So Yeah, I'm not interested in doing anything except sitting there at sundown. So I think in a few weeks here, he's just going to shut the whole operation down for the rainy season. And I think that's a good idea. He's not doing any business. I think somebody will come and do great business in this sector of the market here on this beach. I don't think it's going to be him. I don't think he has what it takes. He's never run a business before. He's never worked in service industry before. He knows nothing about it. He doesn't know anything about the broccoli. I swear to God, he doesn't know the difference between sativa and indica. I am not exaggerating. This guy wants to be in the business of selling this product. He doesn't know the difference between the two strains of this product, the two types of this product. But he wants to be in the business. And he's still trying to sell that Keo, that brick. So anyway, that's an update. But I was thinking about this because it is a popular place for middle-aged or beyond Thai men to come in the evening and sit and drink beer. They'll bring their own bottle of Johnny. They'll buy ice and mixers from tea, and he makes 20 baht profit, and they'll sit there for 2 hours and drink their own liquor in his front yard in his broccoli store. And one of these guys came, and I don't know who he is, but by the way, everybody was kowtowing to this guy. He's a big, important guy of some kind. And he ignored me, of course. He sat at the table with me, but because I'm always there at the big table, and that's where people sit. And gold, a lot of gold on his fingers, a lot of gold on his wrist, a big watch that I assume was a Rolex or something prestigious, and a Hello Kitty, a pink Hello Kitty shoulder bag. And I said, nice bag. And he said, yeah, my daughter bought this and then she never used it, so I took it. And I think that's, it's interesting to me, the way masculinity is perceived here as compared to how we perceive it in the West. In the West, where I come from, El Paso, Texas, no man, no important, powerful man, certainly no wealthy, important, powerful man would carry a pink Hello Kitty shoulder bag. Here, nobody bats an eye. It's a new bag. If you have something new, doesn't matter what it is, that's prestige. Ease and prestige. That's what people are interested in here. Ease and prestige. Those two things, nothing more. They don't care. Every Tuesday, everybody wears pink, male or female. Doesn't matter, right? On the other hand, in the West, we have very rigidly dictated and mandated gender roles, right? I was raised by my mother without a man in the house, so I'm very comfortable doing housework. I can sew a button on a shirt. I can vacuum. When my children were small, I took a very active role in parenting because I was raised with a female role model. I imprinted on my mother like a baby duck, right? So every gesture, every intonation of my voice, my politics, the things I like in literature and art, these are all Betty. I'm just Betty with a penis. People mistake us all the time for the same person on the phone. So I don't adhere to a lot of the Western notions of masculinity. Except when I get angry, I want to hit something. That's when the male genes take over. I want to break something. I want to smash something, and often I do. Like I've said, I had to pay the University of Iowa for 2 keyboards because I just got angry at work and smashed a keyboard twice. I did that. But I'm thinking of this because this week I've taken a lot of flack. I appear on this thing called Two Grumpy Old Men with Tim Newton. It's a lot of fun. If you haven't seen it, I urge you to check it out. And we just sit and we riff for half an hour and we bounce off each other. We use each other as sounding boards. And we do this Tweedledee, Tweedledum act, Abbott and Costello kind of an act, Lewis and Martin. And it's fun. It works. It gets an audience. And people, he had asked me, because Tim's quite well-to-do. He's earned it. He's very smart, very capable, very ambitious, hardworking man. And he's earned a lot of money in his time in Thailand, if you can imagine that. How many people do you know ever made a profit on any kind of business in Thailand? Tim has built 2 media empires since living in Thailand. And we do this show, and he asked me my budget, because I live on $1,500 US a month. I have my Social Security. I don't have anything more than that. I don't own any property. I don't have any investments. I have no bank accounts. I just have this income of $1,500 US, and I live very well. You see my house. I love where I live. I love how I live. I love what I'm doing. I'm a very happy guy, which is unusual for Steve Rosse to be happy. 10 months I've been happy every single day. That alert the media. That's newsworthy. And so I said this on Tim Newton today. And in the comment section, I got a lot of people angry. There are men in the audience for Thai-themed YouTube videos who believed their whole lives they needed X number of dollars to come here and live comfortably. So they stayed in the West. They worked, they slaved, they suffered, they stole. A lot of guys have done very terrible things to come live in Thailand. And they get here and they're still not happy, right? They see a guy like me who, was not smart or lucky or ambitious or skillful at anything and came here with just his Social Security, and he's happy as a clam. That pisses them off. They get really, really angry. They feel like I haven't earned the right to be happy in Thailand because I didn't do it their way. And that's the way men are supposed to do it, right? Men are supposed to go to college, get a degree, start a career, stay in that career, save your money, count your pennies, and at the end of it, you have a big wad of cash, and you can go to Thailand and, I don't know, buy a polo pony? I don't know what you're supposed to do with all that extra money, because it costs nothing to live here. It's cheap as hell. Everything's cheap as hell. So why you need all this extra money, I don't know, except that you've been raised to believe that's what a man does, right? I've got a friend, and I'm not going to say his name, but a lot of you will probably know him. He's been on Phuket for 40 years. Smart guy, brilliant guy, absolutely intellectually brilliant, crazy, weird, strange cat, but I love him. I've loved him for 40 years. When I finally came back to Phuket after 25 years of dreaming about it, it was this guy who met me at the bus depot. And he had to walk all the way from his house to the bus depot because he couldn't afford a motorcycle taxi. He's poor. He lives in a condemned house. He lives in a 3-story shop house in Phuket that has no running water. And it has no electricity. It has one working outlet in the house. He pees in bottles. He has no plumbing. The toilets, there are 2 bathrooms in this 3-story shop house. The toilets are full of years-old human feces because the plumbing stopped. People continued, when there were people living in that house, continued using the toilets, and then it just mummified, solidified, and now it's archaeology. And it reeks. I mean, the place reeks, and he sleeps outside on the porch because he doesn't have air conditioning, and he's got like a pallet and some blankets on a balcony on the 3rd floor. This guy used to translate for governments, for news services. He's absolutely fluent in Thai. Reads it, writes it, speaks it like a native. Speaks Southern Thai, Lang Thai, and speaks Central Thai. Guy's brilliant, like I said. And he used to get paid good money. He's got a child who's a celebrity in this country. A Luke Kung child who's very famous in this country. And he lives alone. My friend lives alone in the dark, peeing in bottles. He's earned happiness. He's invested 40 years in this country. He's gone to school. He's gone to classes. He can tell you everything about the Manhattan incident when the Thai Royal Navy bombed the Prime Minister on a warship in the middle of the Chao Phraya River. Something set up by the American CIA, by the way. Yeah. In the middle of Bangkok, they bombed the Prime Minister, got him out in the middle of the river on a boat, and then bombed that boat with their own sailors on that boat. The Thai Navy planes. He can tell you everything about the Manhattan incident, right? He can tell you everything about the Sukhothai incident. He can tell you Pretty's favorite color and how many me and the white people had. He knows everything about this country. He knew at one time every important person in Phuket. And Phuket is the second wealthiest province in Thailand. It's a very important place. It was founded by 11 families. Those families are still in control. Though you go to Phuket now, you'll never meet a Chao Kok. You'll never meet a Thai person from Phuket on Phuket. You know, they either stay in their compounds or they left a long time ago. It's all Nepalese now, or Burmese now, or Thais from other provinces. You don't meet Chao Kok on Phuket anymore. But he at one time was keyed in with every single important and powerful person on that island. He's earned it. He's done what a man's supposed to do. He struck off on his own into a foreign country with nothing. He came here, he didn't speak a word of the language. He didn't have a baht in his pocket. He worked 40 years. He earned it. And he's pissing in bottles. Right? But I think I understand why these guys in the comment section get angry, because Steve Rosse does not appear to have earned the right to live happily in his retirement in Thailand. I'm sure it's exactly the feeling I feel when I go to Amazon. I see somebody has self-published another book about Thailand. I open up the sample and I read the sample, and this guy can't write. It's terrible. It's terrible prose. It's a terrible, terrible book. You read the first 2 pages, you know, right? Because an author is going to put his best writing at the front of his book. Why would you do otherwise, right? It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. Call me Ishmael. Whatever that long, long sentence is at the beginning of David Copperfield. You know, I feel like these schmucks haven't earned the right. They haven't learned how to write before they call themselves an author. They haven't earned it. Men earn it, right? We earn it. Yeah. So anyway, that's how I feel. I'm at 15 minutes. I'm going to wrap this up. Listen, there's something very gross after this. I found a dead turtle on the beach. And I took video of it because, content. Yeah. So that's coming after this. I want to say thank you. I want to say like, subscribe, share. I want to tell you this is the most important day of my week. I really, really appreciate your attention. And please do share. You know, I just got 2,000 subscribers, which for a guy who keeps kicking the camera, I think that's pretty good. 2,000 subscribers. I want more. Supposedly sharing these videos will get me more. So share it. Anybody who has any interest in Thailand, maybe don't share one of these. This is probably a hard introduction to the channel. To come in on one of these monologues, and you're not going to get hooked by the monologue. Share a Boontongs video with them. I would appreciate that very much. Next week, a Boontongs video. I haven't decided yet. I'm waiting for books by James Eckhart and John Cadet to come in the mail. It's been a long time. They haven't come yet. I've got to reach out to the bookstore and see what's going on there. But anyway, another Boontongs video next week. Like, subscribe, share. Thank you very much. I love you all. Have a great week. Well, I have seen my first turtle on Turtle Beach. I found a scale from his shell up the beach, and I knew something would be around. I'm going to try to drag this up into the weeds and leave it and see if the ants won't clean it. And I'll have a turtle shell. I'll never get it out of the park, of course, but I'll give it to the what do you call it? The park rangers. Anyway, yeah, my first turtle on Turtle Beach. So I've dragged this poor dead turtle up here into the mangroves where the hermit crabs and the beach dogs, I'm sure, will tear it apart, hopefully leaving just the shell. But you can see he's already lost all the scales off this shell. the shell is soft cartilage for the most part, covered in hard scales, and all his scales, he was upside down on the beach, so all his scales have broken off. So I don't think this will ever be a lovely shell, and it is undoubtedly illegal as hell for me to have such a thing. But we're gonna see, we're gonna watch, see what the ants and the crabs do to this.
Whatever shaves your sheep, whatever bakes your lamb, whatever digs your peat, whatever smokes your ham, whatever blows your nose, whatever chews your bone, whatever squirts your hose, whatever sings your song, do it often but do it well. Nobody knows and there's no way to tell. When you're riding, it's that choo-be-doo down, choo-be-doo-be-doo, blue-down, do-that-dee. Choo-dee-dip, 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 choo-down.